All right, so this is my review of Executive Replica Chaotica and Satanus. So this is going to be a double review, and we're just going to go in order. Let's do Chaotica first. We'll just start with her, and then we'll do the more fun part after. So, yeah, so obviously you could tell there's going to be some issues that we need to talk about in this review, but we'll start with Chaotica first. Okay, so just set her aside for now. And let's go straight into her kind of like her appeal, overall look, dimensions, weight, things like that. So just get some measurements on her first. And standard kind of Marvel Legends type body, like 6.5 inches on her. And her weight definitely feels good in the hand like usual. You kind of expect that from LooseCollectors. 2.3 ounces, so not bad at all. So it doesn't feel cheap, just in hand. Feels pretty good. Nice satin finish. But let's talk about her look now. So that face to me is just hideous. That expression is just like, it's just out there. Like, it's just, she's not even there. That face is just like, where the hell am I? It's just so confused and just kind of stupid looking. I don't know why they went with this expression, and it's actually really just, it looks kind of sloppy too if you look at like the lips and things like that. This is not what I expect from LooseCollectors. And it just looks crooked too. Just that mouth is off somewhere. It's just not in line with her nose. The eyes are very disappointing too. Very kind of black. Like there is color in them, but you can't even see them because it's just such a dark kind of tint. It just looks like kind of like vacuous, like kind of empty eyes. It's just kind of disturbing. Her eyebrows are just like very poorly done. You can see it. It's like just like already kind of like faded. Not impressive at all. And like the blush they applied to her face, it's just very blotchy. Like, this is not what I'd expect from LooseCollectors. And just to kind of, for comparison's sake, I'll just show you one of their kind of like masterpieces, in my opinion, which is Red Sonja. And there's really no comparison. That's just incredible. It's just sharp. You can see where all the details are. Very well done. Her eyes are just like piercing. She's got like the furrowed brow, everything is just very well done. And if you compare that to this, it's just almost like a clayish face. Very sad. So they went backwards. Very disappointing. So her overall look, and okay, just going beyond her face, her body proportions, it just seems just off. There's just something kind of like very just squatty looking about her. Like, her arms are just kind of like awkwardly cocked off to the side here. She doesn't really have any shoulders. And, you know, these are kind of like action heroes. I'm not familiar with the comics, but I think you could give a woman like shoulders. Like, don't be afraid. They don't need to be sloped down like this. Like, it's just like a very strange body. Like, and we just bring back Sonja for comparison. Do you see that? Like, it's just like Red Sonja is just so much more just graceful looking. There's just something so off about her. Like, just kind of like the waistline, everything, just how it all kind of flows together. It's just, there's something very off about it. Tell me if you agree with that. But I'm seeing something, just, it looks like they focus too much on the chest, and it comes off very awkward. So in terms of just her overall look, I'm only going to say 3. Like, it's just not an appealing figure for what we expect from this company. It's just not appealing to me. It's a shame. But anyway, let's go straight into her articulation. Now, this company needs to step it up with the articulation. Like, they're not innovating at all. So the head's on a double ball joint. It's just like a typical dumbbell joint, so that's great. And they actually just left some space out in their hair, which is good, so you do get good head movement there. That's fine. You do get a ball joint on the kind of upper part of her chest. Comes forward decently. Doesn't go back much at all. Side to side is very minimal. It's okay. Now, I prefer a ball joint down here too. I guess they're just kind of going more with the aesthetic, just trying not to break up the sculpt. But personally, I think you could have both. And a lot of companies are showing that you can have both. It's not going to make the figure uglier. Her arms, just a swivel. Very awkward kind of shoulders. Like they're just not in line. It just looks so off to me. Bicep swivel, that works fine. You do get kind of like an archaic double jointed elbow. It works, but it's very ugly. It's like you'd expect this on a Marvel Legends. And this really probably is just a Marvel Legends body that's just silly looking for a $70 figure. It's time to kind of step it up a little bit. Like the old executive replicas looked so much better, like with the single jointed elbows, because yeah, you didn't get as much range, but I'd take that over these kind of hideous double bends. Legs are just on ball joints. They work decently enough. No backwards movement because they're still doing this thing with kind of like the butt. Just make that a piece with the leg. Then you could actually just get movement, like the full swing there, front and back. So not sure why we're still doing that. It does go up decently. You do get that nicely blended kind of thigh swivel. Again, double jointed knees, they work well enough and they look okay. Now the ankles, again, step it up a little bit. This is kind of old fashioned at this point. Just go with what Figma and Figuarts do. Just get like a peg for the ankle rocker. Just go at an angle, works so much better, and then get another peg up in here instead of a swivel. So the reason is because you get no rotation with this. You just get like a rotation on the rocker only. If you used a peg going up into the calf, you get a rotation there, and you get a rotation at the ankle. So as it stands now, it is a little bit finicky, not terrible by any stretch, but if you do want to kind of finagle with the ankle, you do have to kind of work this too. So not a huge deal, but for a $70 figure, yeah, just do what Figuarts and Figma are doing. Their ankle rockers are much better. So that's about it for articulation. A little disappointing for sure. They're just kind of going with what worked on like their Wave 1 release with just kind of minor modifications that are not impressive. I am going hard on them because I do like this company, what they're trying to do, but I think they are kind of getting a little, and you know, for lack of better words, just a little kind of complacent. Really just you need to innovate in this market because there's companies that are just doing amazing things. Third-party companies, new companies, you name it, they're doing incredible things, brand new kind of IPs out there, and Executive Replicas has been out for a while now, so they need to kind of step up their game a little bit. So Articulation's only getting a 3. Very kind of like lackluster. She doesn't move too well. It works, but it's nothing impressive. Accessories, let's just talk about her accessories. She comes with this cape. Looks good enough. No real complaints there. Nice kind of pearly finish on it. And it does go on. You just, what they did here I like. It just kind of hooks on very easily. You don't have to like kind of pry her head off or anything like that. So that's a plus. Yeah, you get the idea. So it just sits on like that. You could just hook it on nice and neat. No issues there. Let's talk about her alternate hands. She does come with open hands. She does come with weapon holding hands also, and they do have a vertical hinge on them, so good on them for that. Those are pretty good. And she does come with 2 fists. She has one on already. And she comes with kind of just 2 generic magical wavy hands. One of them's already on her. She does get these kind of spinning, I'm not sure what this character is about. Looks like some kind of magical effect. That is cool. So you could just weave that through her hands. You could get her to hold those. They look nice too. So nice kind of translucent plastic there. Let's see. And she does come with these very cool kind of magical sides, like these little hand sides. They look very nice. So no complaints there. And she does come with kind of like a crazier hair accessory, and that just comes off very easily. And you just put this one on her. Very nice and easy to put on. Now, that crazy hair, it makes her face look even just kind of sillier. Like her hair is crazy, but her face is just so just stoned and like just she doesn't care. Like there's a fight going on and she's like, I don't really care. Her hair is going crazy, but her face, she just couldn't give a shit. Okay, so that's just hilarious. Just she doesn't give a shit. She's just got that face like whatever. So in terms of accessories, now accessories, she's only going to get a 3.5 because I'm really honestly just tired of this company not giving alternate faces. These are premium figures getting priced at like 70 plus. So for them to just give one like kind of fugly face like this with the just that hair accessory that's screaming for like a yelling or just kind of roaring face, and we just get this kind of derpy, stupid looking face, it's unacceptable. So accessories get a 3.5. They gave the hands and all that and the cape, which is fine and good, but you can't really get her posed except for this neutral kind of 1,000-yard stare she has going. So 3.5 for the accessories. Value. So I don't think there's really any value like that you'd expect at this price point. Like I'm only going to give it a 3. Just in terms of her price, she's sitting at a 3. So this figure is very disappointing. I am going harder on them because they've been out for a while now. They've been out for over a year, probably more than that. They need to do much, much more than this. This is just pretty crappy. Very ugly figure, in my opinion. Bland set of accessories. Well, to be fair, the accessories are okay. No alternate face is just a huge, huge negative because you can't really get her posed in any actiony scenes or fights or whatever you want to do because they didn't give an alternate face. And just because I have her out, like I've noticed their figures are just getting uglier. Like even this figure here, I just don't like this face. If you compare like the box art for this figure, just look at that picture. So this is what she's supposed to look like. And this just looks like some average person you'd see outside. There's a huge difference for me. Like, let me get Chaotica also. Compare this face, right? Compare this to this abomination. It's disgusting. Okay, now, to be fair, they did do a better job with Satanus, so let's go straight into her. Oh, and so before we go into Satanus, Chaotica's overall rating is going to be a 3.08. So I was definitely harder on them this time because they've been out for a while. This is a very disappointing release for me, at least. And I'm going to be critical so people could kind of think about this. Maybe you want to reconsider. If not, go for it. Just, I see a drop in quality and it's very disappointing. So let's go straight into Satanus' part. And let's start with, don't need to measure her again. It's really just the same type of figure, but this face looks a lot better. So that looks great. Very even. Nice kind of effects on her. The eyes look nice and menacing. Eyebrows are sharp. Much better job here. Much, much better. The kind of like gold and red on her looks incredible. And just her physique is so much more proportioned compared to Chaotica. Like there's just something off about Chaotica. Like the shoulders, kind of like the ratio of her chest to her shoulders, the hips is just off. It's just weird. But Satanus, she looks great. So proportioned, everything looks kind of seamless. No complaints there. The red and gold are just incredible. They look phenomenal. So excellent job there. As far as I'm concerned, her appeal is just 5 out of 5. This is what I'd expect. So excellent looking figure. And just getting her to stand with that cape is kind of annoying. Articulation engineering. Now, I don't really need to go over the articulation in too much detail. It's really the same thing as Chaotica. So it is what it is. Now, let's talk about just some, like a pretty obvious issue that you probably saw. Her arm snapped. So the bicep swivel just snapped. Just as kind of like a disclosure, I did heat her. All right, so I did notice her bicep was a little bit tight. I never force my figures. I always heat them liberally whenever I notice there's any tension whatsoever. This plastic was just, it was ready to snap. So there was no saving it this time. Because if you're going to release a product like this, you shouldn't have to be afraid that you're going to get a dud. There has to be that quality control. And if it's not there, you're only as strong as your weakest link. This is your weakest link right here. So I'm going to really hammer them for this. Articulation is whatever, that's like a 3. But since her arm snapped off, and it shouldn't have snapped off on a $70 figure, it's getting a 1. Okay, because this could happen to you. There are companies out there where I've never had an issue like this. If I get a figure that breaks, it's getting a 1. You failed. So I need to get a replacement. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of this review, I got this from a site called Pack Turtle, and I will be contacting them to see what they could do. And I'll definitely update the comments if they're, they're mean to me or make fun of me. Only joking, but I'm going to see what we could do about it. So very disappointing. 1-star rating for quality there. Build quality is just trash on this one. Accessories, not a whole lot to talk about. She comes with that cape, yeah, just kind of slides on there. Pretty good looking trident. Nice metallic finish on it. It's got like a little texturing on it too. Looks great in my opinion. That's really nice looking. So you get that. Not an accessory, just her snapped off arm. And then she only comes with some hands. Really, that's it. I don't need to go over the hands again, but for what it's worth, they do have nice kind of nail polish going. Pretty much the same set as like, Chaotica. Open hand, weapon holding hand, fists. You get the idea. Okay, so you get hands and a trident, no alternate face. This alternate face is at least better because it's neutral. She does need a menacing face. You always need kind of like a yelling face or just some kind of angry face. So that is disappointing. Let me just see here. Yeah, so that's all you get with the accessories. And I just will mention they both come with stands. Kind of crappy stands. Like, save the stands. Just give us alternate faces. So, let's just take a look at her score here. So, aesthetic, 5 out of 5. Articulation engineering, 1. She's literally broken. That's non-negotiable. Accessories gets a 2 out of 5. You get almost nothing. You just get really a trident. That's it. And a cape. Value, 1, because if you get a broken figure, there is no value there. So her rating would definitely be higher than Chaotica's if she was actually not broken. But other than that, very disappointing release. So I was really looking forward to getting these both in the mail, and very disappointing when I actually opened them up. So there's my review. I was brutal on both of them because I want this company to succeed. I've heard scary things about some of their werewolf releases now, where the joints are brutally, brutally tight. And I'm seeing that here, where this arm just snapped off. I haven't had an issue until literally today with this company. I will never just kind of, cheerlead for a company. They failed miserably here. And I hope they learn from this. And for however many people are watching my videos, I hope you guys just think about this, because I don't want you to get a figure like this and be miserable, because this is probably a shitty way to just get into a figure. Anyway, so if you have any questions, definitely ask. And any criticisms, whatever, leave it in the comments. All fair game. Thanks for watching. Take care.